That's great. I mean, it's kind of like that saying, like we overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what we can do in five, or something
Yeah,
along those lines. And
yeah.
because I mean, I was even reading the other day that we found a bacteria that now can eat its way through the polyurethane, like one of the really worst plastics. And they found a worm in this bacteria that can just eat right through it and turn it into waste that we can get rid of. So like you really
Wow.
hope that these things are able to scale, because we all
Yeah.
know what the issue is. Like pollution is the issue, either from air or plastic or
Hmm.
everything, because we as human beings are major polluters. I
Yeah.
like to hope that population has peaked. I know a lot of
Hmm.
people don't like this take, but I think there's already too many of us, and I think if we can come down a little bit, that would be good. As we try, as we, I mean, if we're kind of chasing the dragon, if we're trying to create this transition to energy, but in 5 or 10 years, we need 50% more,
Hmm.
right? So it's
Yeah.
so it seems like you're saying, like every little thing that comes online uh, is helpful for the way that we are moving. I think we're all just waiting for these transparent solar panels that can act as windows, so everybody can have it on every building, and we can all do our part. Is there any specific technology that you're seeing that maybe is in its nascent stages that you hope grows to make a real difference?
That's a really good question. I mean, one thing I want to say about real quick about energy demand, like you
Mm,
made that point about population. Like 25 years ago, that was everything driving energy demand. It was more people, more demand, and you had these. Population growth was what it was all about demographics, and now what's causing energy growth is all it's lifestyle infrastructure digitization. It's electrification, right? It's like every new thing that you electrify is a new like straw in the milkshake of the grid, right? So it's
right.
something new that you're putting in there, and so EVs, air conditioning, industrial automation, data centers. These are the things that are driving a lot of the change that we're going to be seeing. And so it's just it's more about we're just plugging things into sockets faster than ever, and I think that is
Yeah.
that's where the source is coming from. Um, but yeah, I mean, what would I say about technology? I think it's hard. It's like I said, it's hard for me to know exactly what the future technology will be. I mean, we don't do a lot of research on what's happening with the latest R&D, so I'm not like an expert on that, and I don't know what would be the big things to gamble on. But I do think that we've got some really clear leaders, and in terms of what's happening now in the renewable energy space, and I think I was talking to a friend of mine, and people have they think a lot about what are the enterprise and opportunities for AI. What are the and I was like clean energy. A lot of things we talked about. What are these all these different kinds of opportunities, potentials, experimental stages that are happening right now? And I think this is why you're seeing so much investment in so much of this industry. Is that this is like there is a huge opportunity, like from a business perspective in some of these sectors, and who's going to create systems that are going to become the everyone's home device for efficiency, or these are the things that
Right.
will be shaking things up, I think, in the coming years, that are going to just change a lot of that game. I don't know what those will look like, honestly.
Right. I like to hear that though. I like to hear that there's so many things that are potentially popping up that you don't know what it'll look like, and I think that's where I kind of choose to take some of my optimism from, is that there are so many people working on this problem. I mean, like yourself, to provide data for people that can go and make decisions, either business or public planning or things like that. That if we don't have this data, it's kind of like trying to shoot an arrow without a target.
Yeah.
Like you need to know, like, where is this going to be the most effective? Where can we have users of whatever technology we're going to deploy, or even where to put up a modular nuclear plant,
Right.
wherever it is. So yeah, I would say I appreciate the work that you're doing, and I mean, it gives me more places to pull my optimism from. Whereas some days you're just like, what are we doing, stupid humans? What are we doing? So
Yeah.
I appreciate the injection of positivity on the topic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean the point that you made too about the work around open data. This is a big part of what we do. Is just making sure everyone has verifiable facts about who's building what, where, and when. What does the sector look like right now? And that is just this foundational information that we've been able to bring in that I think has really helped just set that level for everyone to
Mm,
kind of have the same conversation with each other. And also just realizing that that information didn't used to exist in a very public way at all, that nobody knew, not even industries knew, who was building what next door, or,
Right.
grid planning when you don't know, what's France building over the border? Well, we don't know. So, there's these
Yeah.
questions, how are you gonna have grid interconnections if you don't know those kinds of things? So this is kind of the heart of a lot of the work that we do, is making sure that that is publicly accessible and available, so that all kinds of stakeholders can get the same information, and look at these facts the same.
I mean, that's where I like info sharing. I think is at its best. Is it's not just that we're all, connected with Rageblade and these different social media platforms, but that we're connected enough to say, let's say for you, for example, you've created a feed of open data for people. It sounds like globally, where someone can say,
Yeah.
we want to build something. What are our neighbors doing? Like say
Hmm.
France or Italy can look at the rest of the 27 EU countries and say, oh, I didn't even know they were having a project like that. And so
Yeah.
immediately there's someone you can call to maybe get some answers and help you build your projects more efficiently right from the start, which
Yeah.
I think we all kind of understand that time seems to be moving a lot faster right now with the way
Hmm.
information is moving and AI, et cetera. And so again, maybe that's one of the benefits. So we can get to a better place on all different things, because it's going to be chaotic, but
Yeah.
hopefully, chaos and cohesion don't have to be antonyms, right? That we
Yeah.
can kind of move forward in a better way.
Yeah. I mean, it's foundational for so many different people, and I think that's one of the things about the work that we do, and just realizing just how broad the audience is. You'll see people downloading the data who are in the industry, and then people who are like fighting those same industries. Everyone is just needs that
Right.
information. Governments, international academics, international agencies. Everyone needs that kind of just foundational fact base. And if you can have that, and it can be open and also verifiable for people, like footnoted and saying, this is where we got that information from. If you want to disagree with it, here's where it came from. That is, a real game changer, and sort of just democratizing, and getting information out into the open, so that people can have it and make better decisions. Honestly, like that's what, really
Right.
it comes down to, is who can, how can you use this to make good judgments, better decisions with the right information.
And if everyone wants to find your organization and what you're doing, where can they go to find that?
Yeah, so we're at globalenergymonitor.org. So
Okay.
Global Energy Monitor GEM, we sometimes call ourselves, but it's we are a nonprofit based in California, but operate globally, staff 13 different countries all over the world, and many experts in all kinds of different areas